Now I can create a video or resource for you that gives you like 5 tips that you can do in your next class for fostering student engagement, but none of those would matter if we don't have 3 core things that essentially build the foundation or are the pillars for fostering student engagement. So we need those 3 things that I'm going to talk about in this video so that the other efforts we make will be meaningful to fostering student engagement and a sense of well-being. When I have asked instructors what they're struggling most with right now in this fall 2020 semester, almost unanimously 2 answers come up. And those answers are student engagement and a sense of well-being for students and themselves. Thankfully, in 2014, in a college index report by Gallup and Purdue, they address exactly what goes into fostering student engagement and sense of well-being. Welcome back to Epic Higher Ed. We are compassionate instructors in higher education who are striving to create innovative and inclusive class experiences. If that sounds like you, I encourage you to search Epic Higher Ed on Facebook and join our Facebook group over there. Or check out epichighered.com for a ton more resources. I have 3 of the things that I use in my class day to day up there for you to grab. Let's dive into the 3 pillars of fostering student engagement and sense of well-being. First pillar to fostering student engagement and sense of well-being in your class is for you, the instructor, to care about them as people first. So what does that mean? What does it look like to care about your students first and foremost? Well, they have to feel that care. They have to know that you care. You can care all you want, but if you don't communicate it, they won't understand it. So how do we communicate that we care for our students? One thing that I do in my classes that my students really love is I send them a weekly Monday message. And these are often filmed around 5 a.m. when I'm up with my 1-year-old who wakes up early, and I just pull out my phone and I just kind of say hi. I say, hey, how are we? Like, it's been a rough week. We're in Northern California. There's been a lot of wildfires. The smoke has been in the air. I hope you're doing all right. Reach out to me if you need any help. But I just give them kind of a Monday message, a little bit of an inspiration. We don't talk class, but it helps foster that connection and that sense of that I care about them. I'm taking time out of my day to record a message for them that's just a positive and encouraging message while being real about the world. Another way that you can let students know that you care about them is defaulting to trust. Yes, we have to be sensible instructors and pay attention to when we might be being deceived, but I often find that students are being more honest than they are not. And the students who are trying to be deceptive are a small minority. And so going forward, where we default to trust in our students fosters huge positive outcomes in those students, even more so than the positive outcomes of catching a student deceiving us. Taking that leap of faith, taking that risk of trusting your students is a huge measure of letting them know that you care for them. And finally, regular encouragement. You are the leader of your classroom, and there are things that you are responsible for, including fostering this sense of engagement and well-being. And one of the easiest ways to do that is encouragement. Just offering regular encouragement. Now, an expert leader in the field of leadership is John Maxwell, and he puts it better than I ever could. So John says, if you are a leader, you should never forget that everyone needs encouragement, and everyone who receives it, young or old, successful or less than successful, unknown or famous, is changed by it. Encouragement changes people. And as the leader in your classroom, it's your responsibility to encourage your students. And if you do that, you're going to be setting the foundation for engagement and a sense of well-being in your classroom. The second thing that you will want to do to help foster a sense of engagement and well-being in your classroom, the second pillar is to make your students excited about learning. So what does that look like, and what does that mean to get students excited about learning? This means getting them to look forward to your class beyond just the grade they're going to receive. And that can be hard. That can be a challenge. A lot of students, we ask them why they're taking our class, and it's because it's a requirement in their track. So this can be hard. But there are a few things we can do, little things, to help foster it. One thing is being excited about the material yourself. You are an expert in your field, and there's a reason you're an expert in your field. You had to have devoted years of your life to that material, so that means it had to have been exciting for you or interesting to you, so let that out. It's okay to be honest and real and excited about your material. I love telling students that this is one of my favorite things to teach, or I love this example or this application, and I let them know the parts of the material that I really enjoy. And we don't have to enjoy every single piece of it. That's unrealistic. But regular excitement about the material you're giving your students goes a long way to getting them excited. The other part of it is the application of it, making it relevant to them. So when you give examples, try to make them practical to the real life and something that your students might actually be able to use, or reference how they would use it in different fields of study or work after they graduate. But ultimately, making them value the content and the learning process is what's going to really help here. And just little things in your own voice and your own approach is the thing that makes the difference more than anything else. We have just gone over the first 2 out of 3 pillars for fostering engagement and a sense of well-being in your classroom. The third and final pillar here is that you need to encourage your students to pursue their own individual goals and dreams. Your students need a sense that you are invested in them, and that investment can be as simple as little comments encouraging them. Again, this is going back to that first pillar where encouragement is the make or break thing in someone's life, and having someone who has no responsibility to encourage or invest in you do those things is wildly meaningful. In order to be able to really do this well, you do need a sense of who your students are and where they want to go. And this can be accomplished through a simple survey at the beginning of the semester, asking why they're in your class. What are their goals? Are they aiming to get an A, a B, or a C, right? We can get small goals like that. It can be as large as what they want to do after the semester. And you can use that information and that sense for what your class's collective goals are to tailor your information and to encourage them to pursue those things. Other ways that you can encourage them is, again, making your course content relatable to them. A great assignment is to ask how they might apply the material they just learned to the career they're going to go into. And that gets them investing a little bit of time and research into what they're interested in doing and applying your material to their own goals and dreams. So you're encouraging them to pursue that. In little conversations, like in office hours, ask them, what's your goal for this class? What do you hope to get out of this? Why are you in college? Just simple questions like that to get to know your students and give them some positive feedback. That sounds like a great career. Or I think you'd be really good at that. That's a really powerful statement. I think you would make a great blank. That's a powerful statement. And you can use that. Ask them what they want to do and then encourage them to go after it. To recap here, a 2014 study of 32,000 college students by Gallup and Purdue identified that there are 3 core aspects that must be present in a classroom in order to foster engagement and a sense of well-being in your students. And those 3 pillars are an instructor who cares about them as people, an instructor who made them excited to learn, and an instructor who encouraged them to pursue their goals. So I would love to hear how you are doing these things in your classroom in the comments below. Leave a quick comment, let me know. What are you doing to foster each of those 3 pillars? Or what can you do in your next class that is quick and easy to foster those things and build that foundation? I would love it if you liked this video and subscribed to the channel. It really helps me take time out of being a dad and a full-time instructor to make these videos. I love it. It fuels me. And a like and a subscribe go a really long way in making that happen. Can't wait to see you in the next video. Thank you for being here, and thank you for being a compassionate educator in higher ed.